Hey everybody, it's Mr. Greg here from the Kindergarten Smorgasbord, and the Mr. is over here, but he is not feeling well tonight, so you will hear him asking questions, but that's about all you're going to hear from him tonight. So we're trying to help him rest and relax, but he didn't want to miss tonight because this, believe it or not, is the 4th anniversary of Submissions for Smorgie Live. That's right, we've been doing this now for 4 years. We've been live almost every month for 4 years. And I know some of you have been here for almost every one of those shows. So thank you very much for being a part of this, for joining us every month, for making time to be with us and showing this network and collaborating and being a huge part of not only Submissions for Smorgie Live, but also being a part of the TKS. So thank you and welcome to the 4th year of Submissions for Smorgie Live. Once again, I am Mr. Greg from the Kindergarten Smorgasbord. The Mr. is here. He's moderating the chat. He'll be asking all the questions tonight, so start getting those questions in. The more questions you ask, the more we can collaborate and interact and have fun. So ask your questions. It's an open forum tonight, so you can ask anything you want, and we can talk about whatever you guys would like to talk about tonight. You hear the Mr.
Yeah, you're probably going to hear me clear my throat and maybe a little coughing, so I apologize. Sorry.
So the way it works is you guys will ask the questions in the chat. The Mr. will share those with me, and I will answer those to the best of my ability. But feel free to communicate with one another in the chat and build that network and collaborate with one another. And that's why we're here, to collaborate and to grow and support one another. So let's go ahead and get some housekeeping things out of the way. As always, we have prizes to give away, and the way that you enter for those prizes is you go to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com. You're going to see the blog post that says Submissions for Smorgie Live. Click on that. The giveaway will be there. There'll be a link to enter on the Rafflecopter. All you have to do is enter your email address one time, and that enters you for all of the prizes that we're giving away tonight. And you do have to be present in the chat to win. So make sure you're here, you're logged in, you can type something in the chat so that if we call your name tonight, you can tell us in the chat, say, hey, I'm here, so you can win your prize. So tonight's prizes are, as always, as it has been for every single Submissions for Smorgie Live for 4 years, is a 1-year license to ESGI, which is a $200 value. And we have to say thank you to our friends from ESGI for being the original sponsor of Submissions for Smorgie Live. When we took this risk 4 years ago, they were more than happy to support us. And so they've been with us every single month for 4 years. So thank you so much to ESGI for being one of our sponsors. The TKS is giving away a $50 gift card to Teachers Pay Teachers. So somebody's going to win a $50 Teachers Pay Teachers gift card, which you can use on anything on Teachers Pay Teachers. But we have a few suggestions for you if you need them. And we're giving away a TKS Bootcamp curriculum bundle, which is worth a $130 value, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. And again, to get entered for those, you head over to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com. You click on the first blog post, Submissions for Smorgie. You'll click on the Rafflecopter link. All you have to do is enter your email address one time, and you'll be entered for all of tonight's prizes. And you do have to be present in the chat to win. So make sure you're logged in and chatting and talking, and that you stay with us for the whole hour, because you never know when we're going to give away some good prizes.
And I'm not going to say much, but I just want to say one thing. There's only 13 of you that have signed up for the giveaway so far, and there are 37 of you watching. So there are 24 people watching right at this moment that has not entered for the giveaway. And I would hate for you guys to miss out tonight. So if you plan on participating in the giveaways, you need to head over there right now and get signed up. Also, make sure you can chat. So I want you to type something in the chat box. Make sure you know how to chat, because if we call your name, you have to let us know that you're here. Otherwise, you don't win, and we go on and pick another winner. So 2 things. Head over to the blog right now and get entered. Second thing, start chatting in the chat room so that you know how to chat, and you can say here if we call your name.
All right. Yeah, because last month we ended up drawing names like 7 times before we got a winner. Yes, so make sure you're here. Make sure you're here. Make sure you're chatting so that if we call your name, you can win.
And I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and give away one right now.
Look at that.
So
see?
For those people who followed directions and entered immediately, then there's 17 of you right now that have signed up so far. out of those 17 people, you have a really good chance of winning our first prize, which is a $50 gift card to Teachers Pay Teachers. The winner is Laura Pyle. Laura Pyle, if you're here, type here in the chat so that we know that you're here and you can claim your $50 gift card to Teachers Pay Teachers.
Yay, congratulations, Laura. Laura Pyle. She is here.
Woohoo! Congratulations, Laura. So we will be in touch with you via email to get the gift card to you.
And I see that ESGI is in the chat as well. So if you have ESGI related questions that I can't answer, they're here and they're always happy to answer your questions. So feel free to ask those questions as well. And thank you to ESGI for not only supporting us and sponsoring us, but being here in the chat as well. And, you know, we've done this now for 4 years. And if you've watched many of these, you know we are live. This is not in any way edited or censored. And so you never know what can happen when you're live. The doodles are right here at my feet, so you might hear them bark at some point. You might hear Lulu start panting at some point. We've done this outside and been attacked by bugs. We've done it outside and it's rained. We've had cameras stop working. We've had 4 years ago, way back on that first one, we had no idea how any of this technology worked. Nobody was really doing anything live. I heard on NPR that you could go live on YouTube. And so I sent the mister a text and I said, hey, what if we did this? I said, this would be super cool. Let's see what happens. And so we set it up. We had no idea where it was going to go. We started it and we didn't know that there was a delay between what we could see and what you all could see. And so for the first 5 minutes, we didn't think it was working, and you could hear the frustration in our voice. You could hear that we were mad. And we started getting texts from our friends who were like, oh my God, guys, we can see you. You're live. You're live. You're live. And so now we understand how this all works. And so welcome to the 4th year of this great adventure that we've been on. And so who knows what's going to happen as the next hour goes on.
They're going to hear me coughing my head off. You know?
Yeah. So we're going to keep him as quiet as possible. But ask those questions. And again, the more questions you ask, the more we can talk and have fun. And so we'll go ahead and get started, I think, with the questions.
Yeah, we're ready.
Again, head over to the blog, thekindergartensmorgasbord.com. Click on the blog post for submissions for Smorgie. Click the Rafflecopter link to enter. Put in your email address one time. You'll be entered for all of the prizes for tonight. And remember, you have to be present in the chat. All right, let's get some questions.
All right, question number 1 is from Michelle. How long do you usually spend on Read It Up? Maybe explain what Read It Up is, since it's new.
So Read It Up is our newest line of creations that I have started creating. And they came out of a desire for me to support my students and with a district mandate. We were given an IFL unit. And so it's a very rigorous, very complex literacy unit using some very complex text. But I knew that the kids could do it if they had the right supports and scaffolding. And so that's where I created the first Read It Up. So the Read It Up creations are designed to work on comprehension using complex text. And so we now are making, 2 or 3 of those for every month using different books. Right now I'm working on one for Snowmen at Night. And so it focuses on whole group instruction with reading comprehension skills, but then it also provides for the student response. And so students are writing about the text, drawing about the text, and we're working on, story maps, retelling, connections to the story. We're working on problem solution, vocabulary, cause and effect, text details, personification, all of those comprehension skills that our kids need to use and learn. We're working on those, again, in whole group, but then also with an opportunity for the kids to work on it on their own with lots of writing and dictating and drawing for their response to text. And so that's kind of what the Read It Up is. We have several of those. You can check them out. We've done a couple of blog posts on those so you can kind of see how they work. How long do we spend on them? It kind of varies. So for the Gingerbread Man we did it over 2 weeks. Our whole group instruction for read alouds for comprehension is about 30 minutes. So that's about what we spend on them every day. Some of them we do just for a week. Some of them are 2 weeks. But when we're doing the lessons, we're looking at about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the lesson and what the student part is of that.
Questions from Karen. What during the day do you do? When during the day do you do hippopotamuses?
So we actually have 2 different times that we do our hippopotamuses, which for those of you who don't know, those are centers. So in the morning is literacy centers. We have about an hour, about 60 minutes in the morning for literacy centers. Math is in the afternoon, and we do the math centers in the afternoon for about 30 to 45 minutes. And so that's when we're doing those.
Questions from Diantha. What label printables do you have available for your Lightbox shot classes? I found and printed the CBC set. What else do you have?
We have letters and sounds. We have adding and subtracting. We have numbers. We have 10 frames. I think that might be all. Oh, and CBC e-words. So that's what we have for the Lightbox. If you're curious about our Lightbox, it's a DIY Lightbox that we made for about $20. We do have a blog post with those instructions, and so you can check that out on the kindergartensmorgasbord.com.
This question is from Marianne. I have a question about something that came up this week. Slippers. You split your class wear slippers. What is the logistics on that? Where do you keep them? And do they keep going back and forth?
So we actually just did a blog post that really explains the slippers, but I'll kind of give you a quick overview of how it works. I wanted the slippers because for 2 reasons. Cleanliness, because we got those awesome new rugs Alive from our friends at Alive Studios. So we want to keep those as clean as possible. And, just less germs and dirt in the classroom, but then also comfort and having the kids feel more comfortable. In Scandinavia, they believe that the kids, the more comfortable they are, the more they learn. So that's where the slipper idea came from. So when the kids come in the morning, they change out of their shoes into their slippers. They wear their slippers all day. The only time we change our slippers is if we're going to the gym and when we go to recess. And so we're not changing them off and on all day long. They get changed once or twice, maybe 3 times. And the way it works is like, okay, let's say we're going to the gym. So I'll have us lining up 2 minutes earlier that day. So we have about 2 minutes to put our shoes on. Honestly, it really only takes them 1 to 2 minutes. They've gotten really good at slipping their shoes on and off. And if they need help tying, their friends jump right in and do it. For recess, the way it works this year is recess is before lunch. So we change before recess. When we come back in from lunch, they have got another minute to put their slippers back on and get ready for math. Then at the end of the day, during the dance party, as they're packing up, they switch out their shoes again during the dance party. So that's kind of the brief logistics of it. You can go read that blog post and get a lot more details and a lot more information on our slippers in the classroom.
Taylor wants to know if you let them wear the slippers to the bathroom.
Yeah, we have a bathroom in the classroom, and so it would be kind of pointless for them to change every time they go into the bathroom.
Making sure there's no more questions on the slippers. I don't think there are.
Yeah, because that blog post went crazy, and so did the Facebook post. So I'm surprised there aren't more.
Yeah. This one is from Karen. Are your kinders expected to read at a specific level by the end of the year?
They are. We have to be at a level D for Fountas and Pinnell at the end of the year. The December benchmark, so the benchmark right now is a level B. At the end of the year, it's a level D using Fountas and Pinnell.
From Rachel, for hippopotamuses, how often do you walk around to make sure your babies are correctly working on them while you are working with your small group?
So the way it works is I work with my small group, for about 10 to 12 minutes. As I'm transitioning to another group, I jump up, walk around and check on them. So, at the minimum 3 to 4 times during that time. Sometimes I may, spend a little bit more time between groups walking around. It kind of just depends on how they're handling that particular day. So at least 3 to 4 times during that time.
From DLT, how, where, what part of your center wheel do you incorporate your light box?
The light box and the sensory bin are now a choice on the wheel. So, and that's new this year. Previously, they were a part of the tubs. And so if you were in tubs, you could use the light box or the sensory bin. But it wasn't getting, those two things weren't getting utilized as much as I wanted. And so that's why I now made them a choice on the wheel. And so it's now a choice, and so they get utilized all day, every day.
This one's from Pixie Girl. With your hippopotamuses, what do you do for or with children that struggle with behavior and doing the provided center correctly?
So,
such as staying on task.
Couple of things that I found that work really well. Number one, your centers have to be fun and engaging. If they're not fun, the kids aren't going to do them, no matter what. And I think sometimes we're a little nervous or scared to have our centers be fun and silly and engaging because we're afraid they're not learning if they're having too much fun. But it's really the opposite of what we want. We want them having fun because that's how they learn. So make sure they're fun and engaging. Differentiate the centers and make sure that they're not too easy or too difficult for the kids, because either one of those extremes will cause frustration, boredom, and they'll give up and become a distraction, get off task. The other thing is training, lots and lots of training and setting those very high expectations. And in our classroom, we have a consequence if you're off task. The first time I see you off task, you'll get a warning. And, I'll say, hey, get back to work. What are you supposed to be doing? The second time I see that you're off task, you have to clean up. So you lose your fun center. You get a piece of paper, a pencil, and a clipboard, and you set at the word wall and you write sight words. I will always say, okay, you have to go write 100 sight words. But usually I make them write sight words, for 3, 4, 5 minutes. We have a quick conversation about their behavior, and then they get to go back to their hippopotamus. That's very effective because they're still learning. There's still academics involved. But they've lost the fun, they've lost their choice, and they've lost that opportunity to work with their friends. And so that's a very effective consequence for them during hippopotamus time.
Questions from Laura. Does your school do standard-based grading?
We do. We grade. So the kids get a letter grade, ESPNU, for an overall grade for each subject area. Then we have the standards listed that we're also assessing and grading them on. And so they can get a 1, 2, or a 3 based on how they're doing with those standards.
This question's from Ashley. I've been assessing for the past 2 weeks and still have more to do. How much do you assess, and what do you have other students do while you work on assessments?
Girl, you got to get ESGI. That's how we do it. So I literally spent 2 days this week. And not even doing it all day, like just, little bits here and there. 2 days, done. I've assessed every kid on every standard that we've taught, on every skill that we've taught. So it really took me less than 2 days because of ESGI. That's what I love about it, is that I can assess all of my kids and have their report card assessments done, in 1 day, and I don't have to stress about it. And, we're talking everything from letters, numbers, sounds. We've done word families, CVC words, blends, digraphs, shapes, adding and subtracting, 10 frames, all of the things that we've taught them between the first day of school and now. I was able to assess all 19 kids on all of those things in 1 day with ESGI. And so that's why we love ESGI, because it saves us so much time. So that's how we do it. The other kids are just working in centers. And so what I do is the kids are working in their centers or hippopotamuses, and I just call the kids back. So instead of doing small group instruction, I would be pulling kids for that one-on-one assessment with ESGI. And if you don't have ESGI, you need to try it. And the way you can try it is you can actually use the code Smorgie, SMORGIE, and get a 60-day free trial of ESGI using that code Smorgie. And then after that 60-day free trial, you'll want to sign up. You'll want to subscribe. And that same code will save you $40 off of the subscription price.
Someone wants to know how you utilize your parapro.
So I do not have an assistant. I do not have a parapro. So
I responded in the chat and said, parapro, what? Wouldn't that be nice?
Right?
And she said that it's actually state law where she is.
Yeah, so it's different everywhere, but we do not have any assistants. We do not have parapros. If you watch any of our Facebook Live videos, you're going to see some adults in and out of the room. So I do have a little girl this year who is hard of hearing, and so she has somebody come in and work with her for several minutes or several days of the week. So you may see her in there. And another one of my students has a one-on-one parapro for 30 minutes of the day, so you might see her in there as well. But that's it. There's no one else. There's no assistant other than the mister, of course. No parapro. And so, you know, it's not a secret that we hide from anybody. It's just me in the classroom. So
it's so funny. People will see someone. Sometimes they'll see a parent come in Greg's classroom, or they'll see one of those others that come in for a little bit, and they're like, "Aha, you have an assistant." And we're like, no, he doesn't have an assistant.
Y'all, I promise, we're not hiding anything. There's no assistant. There's no secret person in the background. I promise. It's not there. It's just me hanging out in the classroom with my 19 kids doing what we do. And so the people that you see are you know, other coming in for one certain student, pulling them out or working with them, but that's all.
Next question is from Cora. Do you find the Valtis and Pinnell expectation is out of line for some of your students?
I know this is a touchy subject, and I know I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but I absolutely think every child has the potential to get to that level. I know a lot of kids aren't developmentally ready to read, especially early in kindergarten. But I think it's possible that they can get there. I think if we start off by saying, oh, they can't do it, then we're already setting them up to fail. We're setting ourselves up to fail. So I believe that every child has that possibility and that potential. But if they don't get there, I don't freak out about it. I don't feel like I failed, because I know some kids developmentally are going to take a little bit longer, and that's okay, as long as they're making growth. And that's what it's about. And really, as long as they're starting to love reading and they get excited about reading, that's more important to me for them. But again, with the right supports and the right scaffolding and lots of hard work and lots of fun in the classroom, I think every kid can get there or get very close.
So we have some people asking about the giveaways. If you will explain to them how they do that. They're wanting a link, and unfortunately, YouTube doesn't allow me to do links. So if you can tell them how to do it. So
we still have a 1-year license for ESGI to give away, and we still have a TKS bootcamp bundle to give away. The way that you enter is you go to our website, thekindergartensmorgasbord.com. When you get there, you're going to see right there, it's going to pop up. You'll see it. It'll say Submissions for Smorgie Live. You click on that. That will open the blog post for Submissions for Smorgie Live. And then you're going to see a link for Rafflecopter. You're going to click that link. And then when you click that, the little box will be there. All you have to do is enter your email address. And then you're entered for all of the giveaways. So go to thekindergartensmorgasbord.com. Click on the Submissions for Smorgie post. You'll see the Rafflecopter. If you don't see it, just click the link and it'll pop up. Enter your email address, and that's it. That's how you do it. So it's at thekindergartensmorgasbord.com. You do have to be present in the chat to win. So make sure that you're here and you're chatting and that you stay for the whole time, because you never know when we're going to do a giveaway. You don't want to miss out.
So Heather had a follow-up question about the Parapro. Since you don't have one, do you have parents? Do you use parents to help in the room? If so, how?
Not really. It really varies from year to year. Last year, I had some very involved parents, and so they would come in and help with, parties, and they did all kinds of extra stuff for us. This year, I don't have that as much, and so I don't really utilize them. I utilize the mister.
Yeah, I am the assistant, the full-time assistant for the classroom.
So he does a lot of the food prep and, that kind of stuff for us. He gets all the supplies that we need. He comes in and helps in the classroom with the kids and cleans and tries to be as involved in the classroom as he can.
With centers and cutting out.
Does all the cutting and laminating, which everyone always gets really excited about.
Someone wanted to know when we're going to do giveaways. You never know when we're going to do giveaways. We did one right at the very beginning.
We did.
So we'll probably do another one here pretty soon. All right, next question is from Nicole. How many sight words do your children need to know by the end of the year?
By the end of kindergarten, we have to master 100 sight words. And consistently every year we get anywhere from 95 to 99% of our kids to that. And it's usually, a couple of kids missing, 1, 2, or 3 words. So they absolutely get there because we use sight word 60. And so that's how we are able to master 100 sight words. So it's a very quick, very easy, effective research-based way to teach and master sight words for your kids. And you can get all the details on the blog with Sight Word 60.
This question is from Amy. What do you do for interactive writing and independent writing?
So this year, we have switched in our district to anchor text and text-dependent questioning and writing. So a lot of our writing is in response to text that we're reading. And that's, again, where those read it ups come from, is giving them the whole group supports and the whole group mini lessons, so then they can take that information and use it in their writing. Interactive writing is done with our morning message, with our calendar. We did a gingerbread man story this week that was interactive writing and shared writing. So that's how we do it. And then the kids, like I said, a lot of their writing is coming in response to these anchor texts that we're reading for the district.
This question is from Christina. Can you share, sorry, having computer issues here. Can you share more details about how you introduce centers as far as timeline in the beginning of the year, and what parts of the wheel do you introduce first?
So we have a couple of blog posts and some videos actually showing me doing this. So you definitely want to check those out. We start centers the second week of school. We jump right in with them because, we want to get the kids up and engaged and learning, so we can start pulling small groups and doing those important beginning of the year assessments. And so we start the second week of school. We start with the tubs. The wheel comes later. So we actually introduce all the different center choices on the wheel. Then we introduce the wheel, because there's no reason to introduce the wheel if they can't use all of the choices. So it's the tubs first, and then write the room, and then read to self, technology, Lightbox, and sensory bin, and that's the order. And then so that takes about 2 to 3 weeks to introduce all of those. And then once they're all introduced, I'll give them another week or so to get used to them, and then we bring in the wheel. And the wheel just takes a couple of days, of practice, and they get the hang of that because it's so visual. And so you're looking at it about 3 to 5 weeks at the beginning of the year to get all of the centers introduced and get the wheel introduced.
So where do you start if you don't have any centers at all?
Well, I know where you can get some good centers. We have lots of freebies that you can download and use. We have lots of easy, low prep centers on the tksstore.com that you can use. On our website, we have tons of DIY stuff. So, just start basic, try to get some stuff set up so that your kids can use centers. But, you can do read to self with the books in your classroom. You can do write the room with paper, pencil, and a clipboard. So that's, there's 2 centers that you could set up right away. If you have computers or iPads, that's 3 centers that you could use. And then you could start, getting some centers like we use in our tubs and stuff, the ones that we have available on the tksstore.com and on our website, and start getting those introduced as well.
Do you need tubs?
No, you don't. No, you don't. Absolutely, you don't need tubs. Before we had the tubs, we did the same type of system, but with a Rubbermaid container. So we had 4 Rubbermaid containers. They were color-coded with Post-it notes, and all of the center activities were in bags, Ziploc bags. And so the kids would just go to their box and pull out the Ziploc bag and go get to work. So you don't need tubs at all. Rubbermaid boxes will work just fine. So, and look around your room, because if you have magnetic letters, that could be a center. If you have letter tiles, those could be a center if you're just starting out.
This question is from Vang. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Do your kids ever get tired of the dance party, or do they opt out? They do
not get tired of it. They do not opt out. They ask for it every day. They're like, "Oh God, is it time to dance? Is it time for our dance party?" I don't force them to dance. I encourage them, but they have to at least be there with us. They don't get to just go sit out. They have to be standing on the carpet with us at least. But they don't get tired of it. They love it. And I think a lot of that, and a lot of what goes on in our classrooms, I think a lot of times we forget the power that we have just by our excitement. And so If we're not buying into it, we can never expect our kids to buy into it. So if I expected my kids to have a dance party every day and I was off doing folders or whatever at dismissal, they wouldn't want to do it either. But there I am every day. I'm right there in the middle of that dance party with them. And we ask the mister, I'm not a dancer. I can't dance. But I'm out there every day singing and dancing with the kids during the dance party. And that's what gets them excited. And I think we need to be doing more of that with a dance party, with read-alouds, with whatever we're doing in our classroom. If we start to show our excitement more, if we start to participate more, our kids are going to have much better buy-in and much more excitement because they're going to feed off of our energy.
Couple follow-up questions on centers. How many choices do you have for students and centers? So
it's a little bit of a tricky question. So the way I like to describe it is we have 5 centers, and these are the big 5. So we have tubs, so that's a center. But within the tubs, the kids have 9 activities to choose from. Then we have technology. So that's the center. Then we have lots of QR codes, the activities that they can choose from. We have reading in the library. So that's the center, but they can read all the books. We have Write the Room, which is the center, but we have usually 3 to 5 Write the Room activities that they can choose from. Same with Lightbox and Sensory Bin. They're always going to be, that's the center, and there are always going to be several different activities they can choose from. So we have 5 centers, but within those 5 centers, there are lots and lots of choices for the kids to choose from. In math, it's 4 centers with lots of choices within those 4 centers. So kind of think about the center as the umbrella, and then underneath that is all of the activities and the choices. So that's kind of how the best way to explain how we do it. So the center is the big one. So you're going to your tubs. Tubs is your center. Then you have lots of choices within your center.
A couple more questions on centers. How many activities do you need to start off with?
I think as long as you have 1 to 2 for every kid in the group, so that they all have something to work on. And if you have 4 kids in a group, you want to have at least 5 activities for that group. So if somebody finishes one, they have another one that they can choose from.
From Amy, how do you hold the students accountable? How do you get them motivated to do their tubs?
So again, I mentioned this earlier. It's about having fun, engaging, exciting centers, and it's about selling them. So when I change out centers every few weeks or every month, I say, all right, y'all, it's Monday. Y'all have all new hippopotamuses, and immediately they're ready to go. And if I make a new resource and we prep it and I take it to the classroom the next day, I'll be like, hey y'all, I put a new hippopotamus in. Or if somebody's like, oh, I don't know what to do, I'll go over and pull out one of their tubs and be like, look at this. This is one of my favorites. So you really want to do this one. So again, it's about us selling it and our buy-in and being excited about it. But holding them accountable. Every one of our centers comes with a recording sheet. And so that holds them accountable for their learning. They have to record their learning, but it also slows them down so they can't just rush through the center. So that's how we hold them accountable.
How many students can be at a sensory bin at one time?
So our role at the sensory bin is 2. Every now and then, if 3 are there and they're working, I'll let it go. But most of the time, we can have 2 kids at the sensory bin.
How do you store your sensory tub items?
Well, it depends. Anything food-based gets thrown away when we're done. We've colored pasta. I might hold on to it for a year or so. But anything else food-based, we throw it away when we're done. It's just not worth the bugs and the mice and all the other critters that show up. And then everything else, it's put in Ziploc bags and then stored in some Rubbermaid containers in the closet. Right now we have 2 Rubbermaid containers full of sensory bin items. And so I can just go in there and pull out what I need for every sensory bin.
How long do you keep the activities in the tubs before swapping them out?
So we only change our centers completely out every month. And again, with all of the different centers and all the different choices in those centers, there's really no need to change them out very often because the kids are constantly moving and they have so many choices, they don't use all of them. And so there's really no reason to change them out. So we change them out usually after a holiday or a theme. So you know, about every month or so. But what I will do every couple of weeks, just to keep it fresh, is I will switch some things around in the groups. So I might take a couple of things from the pink tubs, move to the purple, some purple stuff, purple tub activities, move to the blue, some blue, move to the green, then put a couple of new things in the pink tubs. So at least every couple of weeks, everybody sees 1 or 2 new, fresh things in their tubs. But then again, like I said, I don't change them out every Friday. I have no desire to do that every week. So that's why we do it about once a month.
Last question on centers for now. This one's from Kim. For the tubs, do kids work independently or do they work in pairs?
Totally up to them. They can work by themselves. They can work with anybody in their group. And so it may be 1 kid working, it may be 2, it may be 4. And so it's totally up to them.
All right, let's do a giveaway.
Woohoo! And again, you have to be here in the chat. So if we call your name, say, hey, I'm here. Let us know that you're here so you can win your prize.
And this is for the TKS Bootcamp Bundle. So $129 value.
So if you're not familiar with the TKS Bootcamp Bundle, it is a year-long math and literacy curriculum that we created. It is classroom proven, research-based. It is best practices. It has whole group pieces. It has small group pieces. Has everything you need to differentiate. It has differentiated decodable readers. It has centers. It has opportunities for the kids to do writing. And so it's all there. It contains 5 literacy curriculum components and 4 math components. And so it's what we use for our phonics instruction for the whole year. My entire kindergarten team uses it. We have consistently amazing data with it. We've done a blind study of over 200 classrooms. And the average is that you're seeing an 80% mastery, 80% improvement with the boot camps. So if you want to check it out, we have a new website. It's tksbootcamp.com. So you can check that out, and it will give you, you can check out all of the components. You can see videos, pictures. You can read all about it and see the research behind it. So that's tksbootcamp.com. And so check it out. If you're not using it, I urge you to check it out and put it to use in your classroom, and you will not be disappointed. So who's our lucky winner of the TKS Bootcamp Bundle?
Our winner is Amy Maruska.
Amy Maruska. Amy, if you're here, say something in the chat quickly so that we know you're here. And you have won the TKS Bootcamp Bundle, which is $129 value. So Amy Maruska, are you here?
She's here.
Woohoo! Congratulations, Amy. We'll be in touch with you about getting you your TKS Bootcamp Bundle.
We have 1 giveaway left from ESGI, and that will come in a little bit.
Woohoo! So stay tuned. You don't want to go anywhere.
Next question is from Shannon. Do you teach a social skills curriculum at your school?
We are an SEL school, social emotional learning. And so SEL is incorporated in everything that we're doing. For us, the biggest piece of that in our classroom is our morning meeting. And that's when we really work on those social skills, building community, building that sense of safety and love and community in the classroom. If you're not doing morning meeting and you want to do something in the new year to revolutionize your classroom, start doing morning meeting. It's the thing that I've done that has had the single biggest impact on my classroom over the past 10 years of being in kindergarten. And so you can go to the website, kindergartensmorgasbord.com, and you can read about how we do each component of our morning meeting.
This question is from Laura. Do you have a sequence for the writing routine for the year, or do you have a program that would be beneficial for writing?
For the writing routine. I'm not sure what she's talking about. But the thing that we use for writing and Writer's Workshop is Writing Through the Year from Dee Dee Wills and Deanna Jump. So that is my go-to for teaching my kids how to write.
This next question is from Catherine. What do you do when a child refuses to work at all? Do you give timeouts or what? So as part of an SEL school, the thing we use is called take a break. So they might take a break for a few minutes. You know, lots of positive encouragement, but also sometimes you just have to ignore it and let it go. And when you take that attention away, that can sometimes be all that they need to get to work. Especially for us, like our kids, you know, the kids will read it up, the whole group read it up.
then they're doing their student response, their writing, their comprehension work. And once they're done with that, they go to hippopotamuses, but they can't go to hippopotamuses until their work is done. And so that's another motivating factor is, hey, if you want to go to centers or hippopotamuses and get to, have all the fun and hang out with your friends and work at hippopotamuses, got to get your work done. So that can help as well. Maybe it's too hard for them. Maybe they're frustrated. Maybe they need a little bit of support or scaffolding. So it's a matter of investigating a little bit and finding out, what's keeping them from doing the work. But don't be afraid to ignore. And I think sometimes, we feel like we have to get in there and push and push and push and engage and try to force them to do it. That's not going to work. And so sometimes just taking away the attention and letting them figure it out, and they're like, oh, okay, then I need to get this done. Sometimes that's the best thing we could do.
Questions from Jade. How do you fit ABC Bootcamp into your curriculum?
So ABC Bootcamp is what we do at the beginning of the school year. It's the first 26 days of school. And so during that time, of course, we have a lot of time because centers are just getting started. We're still learning all those procedures and routines. And so that ABC Bootcamp gives us opportunities to incorporate all of those procedures and start to learn routines. But it also serves as our phonics instruction during those 26 days. We get our handwriting in. And so we did several live videos this year that you can find on Facebook that kind of show you how it works in the classroom every day and how we incorporate it into the day. And it's a very immersive curriculum. And so we do spend a lot of our time during those 26 days on ABC Bootcamp because it's so immersive, it's so engaging, and so hands-on, and that's what makes it so effective. The circle map takes 5 to 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes at the beginning because it's new for them. The hats take the longest at the beginning, and with the hats, you might be looking at 10 to 20 minutes at that first week, but that cuts in half, over the next couple of weeks. And about 2 to 3 weeks into ABC Bootcamp, I release the hats to them, and they do them completely independently. Handwriting is 5 to 10 minutes. And then we're doing the student journals in small groups, and so that's not factored into that whole group. So that's how it's incorporated. But check out those videos on Facebook. Also check out the tksbootcamp.com. Lots of videos and information there to kind of show you how we get it going at the beginning of the year.
They have 5 minutes, actually only 3 minutes left now to enter the giveaways.
3 minutes. So if you have not entered for the giveaways, go to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com right now and enter.
From Suzanne, how do you connect with parents or family of your students during the year?
So the biggest way that we communicate with our parents is through Remind. So we use the Remind app. And so you get the parents to sign up. And for the parents who don't sign up, I sign them up because we have their phone numbers. And so after, a few weeks of trying to get everyone to sign up, I just sign them up. And so what I love is I can send out class announcements through Remind and say, hey, tomorrow's pajama day, wear your pajamas. And then it also has the option to chat with each family privately. So if I need to say, hey, this is what happened today with so-and-so, we can do that as well. So that's our primary way. And we try to do as much face-to-face communication as possible, whether it's, a dismissal or arrival. But really Remind is how we do it.
From Karen, do you always do nouns on Fridays, or do you do verbs, adjectives, etc.?
So we do. She's talking about our morning message. And so every Friday for the morning message, we do nouns. Later on, probably when we get back after Christmas break, we do incorporate verbs as well. So we do nouns and verbs on Friday.
From Gail, what are the kids working on before morning meeting?
They're doing their morning journals. And I have to say, we got a shout out from our principal this week. He came through. We have an outside door. And so he was coming through to go out to do arrivals. And he was like, I love it. Look, first thing in the morning and they're already writing. So go us. So they're doing their morning journals. And so in the journal, they write their name, the date, they draw a picture. And we're at this point in the year where most of us are writing labels. And most of us are starting to really start to write some sentences, one sentence right now about their picture. So that's what they're doing. And we do have a couple of blog posts about morning work, the morning arrival, and the morning journal. So you can check those out on the website.
This question is from Vange. Do you and your coworkers do the same centers or make them together?
So my team mostly uses the centers that I create. And so most of us use the wheel. So we're all kind of do it the same way. We're all kind of using the same centers. And, everything is different because our kids are at different levels and need to practice different things. But if you were to walk into the classroom, all 8 of us, you would see very similar things happening during center time. And I think in 5 or 6 of the rooms, you're going to see the center wheel in use.
From Monica, I teach pre-K. What product would be best to start with? I went back and asked her if that was in relation to a particular topic or exactly what she was referencing there, but didn't hear back, so I didn't know if maybe you wanted to address it somehow. I think
ABC Bootcamp works well in pre-K. We hear lots and lots of pre-K teachers who use it. Any of our centers would work because everything we do has so much differentiation built into it. And so you can work on letter recognition, or you can work on beginning sounds. Same with numbers. You would work on number recognition, or you could do counting. So really any of our centers would work. Probably for pre-K, one of the center products that would work well, and that would be easy for your kids to learn and would make it easy for you, would be our smashing games. And so you can get them individually. We have the smashing bundle for letters and sounds and numbers and counting. And so those, you would be doing uppercase letters, lowercase letters, beginning sounds. We have numbers, counting, 10 frames. And so those would be really good. And once the kids once you use one of them and they know how to use it, you can use it for the rest of the year and never have to reintroduce it because it works the exact same way. So maybe check those out. The smashing games would be a good place to start if you're looking for some centers, just because it would give you lots of different choices for the kids, and then you can use them for the rest of the year with little to no instructions.
This question is from Sarah. How do you keep them all on task while having to sit quiet on the carpet? Mine start to chat or look away.
And again, I think it's, expectations and training, high energy, we are performing and putting on a show. And I say all the time, it's a commercial. We have to sell what we're doing. And so if our energy is high and we're engaged and we're excited, that's going to draw them in. And so, we do a lot of movement on the carpet. So, I might do a read aloud in my chair. Let's say, okay, turn to the writing chart. So, we get, 20 to 30 seconds of moving. So that's another thing, to give them those little movement breaks without really breaking the lesson. But just, get excited about it. If you're doing a read aloud, use voices, get them excited. Try to make them interactive read alouds. That's the great thing about the boot camps, is that they're so interactive because the kids are creating the circle maps. And so they have to be involved with it. So just do whatever you can to sell it. Put on a costume, put on a hat, whatever, but just sell it, get excited. The more energy we have, the more we're going to get the kids to buy in. And Lulu found her squeaky toy.
This question is from Heather. I love the clipboards you did for the kids at Christmas. What size were their names? And do you prefer them on the front or the back?
So, good question. So, hold on. Let me have this. You can have it back later. There we go. Sorry about that. See, it's live. You never know. Now Lulu's very mad at me. So we've done the clipboards with their names for 4 years now for their Christmas presents. And I've always put them on the front. Never thought much about it. Every now and then when they're writing or drawing, you would see at the bottom of their paper, like you could see the letters of their name from where they had colored over it.
Can't have it back.
Never made a big deal about it. Never thought much about it. And somebody on Instagram last week said, what if you put the names on the back, then it won't affect their coloring and writing? And now we were like, me and Jason were like, oh, it's a good idea. So I put them on the back this year for the first time, and we both were like, yeah, that's the way to go. As far as the size, I just made it fit the back of the board. So everybody's is a little bit different because of the length of the names and the letters and stuff. But I just made each one fit the back of the clipboard.
You have a very mad dog.
Y'all, she's giving me the evil eye. I'm so sorry, sweet girl.
Here's a good question from Sarah. What does January look like? How much time do you spend reteaching behavior, etc.?
So we just had this conversation with our principal. We'll go back on a Tuesday. Teachers go on Monday, kids come back on Tuesday. So those first 4 days, that's really what it's about. We call it behavior boot camp. And we're really focused, laser focused on those procedures, rebuilding that community, getting them back into the routines. And during that time, we're also doing a whole bunch of New Year stuff. And so, but those first 4 days, and of course, every day going forward, but those first 4 days, that's really what our focus is.
From Nicole, how many reading groups do you have? We are told a 3-group model is the best.
My groups would be like 6 to 7 kids if I only had 3. That's too many kids in a group. So I have usually 4 or 5. And so I see 10, my groups are 10 minutes or so, 10 to 12 minutes. And so we have an hour for small groups. So that works out perfect and keeps the size of the groups down. So I can still give them that one-on-one attention during small groups. So yeah, 4 to 5 groups.
From Ashley, are students required to go to a specific center a certain number of times per week? Nope.
There's no must-have, can-do, go-do. No, there's none of that. I have no desire to keep track of all of that. And so they have whatever their 2 choices on the wheel are that day, that's what they do. The next day I turn the wheel, they've got 2 more choices. So that's how it works. It's all about giving them the choice, giving them control of their learning. And so again, that really gives them buy-in, really gives them that desire to want to do it because they get to make the choices.
All right, so let's do our final giveaway.
Woohoo! So we are now giving away a 1-year license to ESGI from our friends at ESGI Software. Go to esgisoftware.com to check it out. Again, you can use the code Smorgie to sign up for your 60-day free trial. And that same code will save you $40 off of the subscription price after your 60-day free trial is over. And I promise, once you use it for 60 days, you're going to want to keep using it. So use the code Smorgie to get your free trial and save $40 off of the price.
And keep in mind, this is for new subscribers only. So if you already have ESGI and you don't have a friend that you can give it to, then please let us know so that we can draw someone else's name and someone else can win. We don't want the prize to go unused. And the winner is Marianne Brown.
Marianne Brown, are you here? Congratulations. You've won a 1-year license to ESGI. Marianne Brown. If you're here, let us know in the chat so that we can get you your prize. And again, 4 years, probably 40 to 48.
She's here, but she hasn't. Marianne, do you have a teammate that you would like to give it to? Let's see if Marianne can answer us really quick.
So 4 years, we have done probably 40 live submissions for Smorgie Lives, and every time for all 40 of those, ESGI has been one of our sponsors. And so again, a huge thank you to ESGI for being a part of submissions for Smorgie Live and for supporting teachers in the classroom every day.
All right, so Marianne does have someone that she would like to give it to.
Woohoo!
So ESGI will be in touch with you, Marianne. I'll get them your information, and they'll be in touch with you very soon, within the next 48 hours, to get you your prize. Yay, congratulations.
Yay, that was easy. We didn't have to draw 37 names.
Right. All right, ready for next question?
Yep.
This one's from Teaching in Flats. Our principal gave us Kindles this year. Any suggestions that we could use them for? We haven't used them.
So what I have found with the Kindles is apps, they just don't perform well when you start to put a bunch of apps on them. So what we use Kindles for is QR codes. And so that's all I use them for is I downloaded the QR reader. I used the QR reader called Scan, downloaded that on our Kindles, and that's what we use for QR codes. And that's been the best use of the Kindles that I have found. And if you're looking for QR code activities, we have several in our TKS store, so you can check those out.
So we had a lot of people in the chat when I announced the winner saying, oh man, I would love it. I would love it. I don't have it. So tell them again how they can get it for free.
ESGI?
Yes.
So if you don't have ESGI and you want to try it, you can use the code Smorgie, 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 to sign up and get a free 60-day trial. So you use that code and you get to try it for free for 60 days. Once your 60 days is up and you decide you want to subscribe for the year, that will save you $40 off of the price of the subscription. So you can head over to esgisoftware.com, get signed up, use the code Smorgie, and try it out free for 60 days. And your data does not disappear. So if your 60 days runs out, your data will still be there. So don't panic and think that your data is going to disappear.
And here's another little nugget of information that I got recently from ESGI is that you actually, so at the end of your 60 days, you're going to sign up for 12 months, a 12-month subscription, right? And you're going to save $40. So it's $199, so you're going to pay $159, right? And then you get 12 months. So basically, you're paying once and you're getting 14 months.
Oh, okay. You got 2 months free, and then you're going to get 12
months. Doesn't eat into your 1 year subscription.
So it's 1 year from the time you pay for it. So the 1 year starts after your 60-day free trial.
Correct.
Very cool.
Which I thought that was great information.
Yeah, that's good to know.
All right. Question from Heather. Do you incorporate science and social studies into ELA math, or do you have a scheduled time for it?
We incorporate science and social studies into ELA using our TKS research projects. So we have, I think, 39 or 40 research projects. And so that's how we do science and social studies during ELA, is we use those research projects. The research is done with the whole group read alouds. Then what we do is we take that information, we put it into our anchor charts and graphic organizers. Then the kids pull from that and do their writing in their research journals. And then we also have, labeling activities and sequencing activities and all those things in there in those research projects, as well as centers. And so you can keep that theme going in your centers. We have a couple of blog posts about research projects, actually several, because you can see how we do the Arctic animals research and the weather research. And so you can see lots of details about those on the website. We also have a fall bundle and a spring bundle of research projects. So you get all of the research projects for the fall, or you can get them all for the spring. And that's how we do it. Number one, because we don't have dedicated science and social studies time. So we needed a way to get those in there. We needed a way to meet the research and writing standards. And so the research projects are a very developmentally appropriate way to meet those standards and get that science and social studies in as well. So check out the TKS research projects. And again, they're very consistent. And so once you've done a couple of them, you can use them for the whole year and the kids know what to expect. It gives them that scaffolding and support so that they can really focus on the content and the learning. The other thing we do on Thursdays is we do Mad Science Thursday. And so we have a Mad Science creation and we have a holiday edition of Mad Science. And so every Thursday we do a hands-on science experiment, and we call it Mad Science Thursday. The kids wear their lab coats. I wear my Mad Scientist costume, and it's actually every week it's an experiment where the kids are doing it. They're getting in there and mixing the ingredients and doing the experiments, and so you can check those out as well. And so we have the Mad Science creation, and then we have the holiday Mad Science.
And they can also join our webinar that's tomorrow night. To learn more about how Greg does research projects in the classroom. I'm going to post the link on Facebook so that you can easily find it to sign up. But it's tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central. And if you're not able to watch it live, you can always watch the replay.
Yeah. And if you're thinking about the research projects, I highly recommend that webinar because I walk you through each step. You really get to see how they work, what's included, and how we do it in the classroom. And so it'll answer lots of your questions and show you how they work. So definitely check out that webinar tomorrow night on research projects.
And I would post the link right here, but it won't let me post links. I'm going to try it and see what it does. Hey, it did just let me post a link. First time YouTube has ever let me post a link.
Well, we'll see what happens. Now they might put us in YouTube jail.
So there's the link to sign up for the research project webinar. That's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
I wonder if it's clickable for people.
I don't know. It let me click it just now.
We'll see what happens.
So the webinars aren't on Facebook or on YouTube. They're actually hosted through a different platform. So you just sign up with your email address, and then you will get a link to join the webinar tomorrow night. Marion says she's not seeing it. Boo. Okay. Well, I just posted it again. Y'all let me know if you do or do not see it. If not, I'm going to post it on Facebook here in a little bit, and you can click the link from there. Oh, no one can see the link. I see it, but no one else can. YouTube. Okay, well, I'm going to put it on our Facebook page here in a little bit. And I will also send, if you're a part of a newsletter, I'll be sending out a newsletter either tonight or tomorrow morning so that you can sign up that way as well. All right, going back to our questions. This one's from Sandy. What is the song you play when you're celebrating the sight words going up on the wall on Friday?
It's just, I just went on iTunes and searched for Royal Fanfare, and I found it's actually the Queen's band, whatever they're called in England, that's playing it. It's just a big fanfare music. I don't know the name, but just type in Royal Fanfare on iTunes and pick the one you like the best. That's what I ended up doing, and I ended up picking the one of the Queen's band.
Okay, this question is from Shelly. I can't get my kids to use indoor voices. The centers seem so loud. How do you manage that?
The easiest way to do this is to play music. And so what I recommend is that you play some soft music and you set it at a level that you're comfortable with. And if the kids can't hear the music, they're too loud. And that works well because they want to hear the music. And so that's a good way to keep them reminded about that. And again, it's an expectation. Lots of reminders and training. We have this problem too. So, the doorbell works well. If they get loud, I ring the doorbell. And this year I have a little guy. Every time I ring the doorbell during the centers, he yells, "It's too loud." I'm like, well, you're not helping, but thanks for the reminder. So, try the music. That's been a very effective way to keep their noise level down.
This question's from Sarah. Do you tell them they have to whisper during center time?
I do not. As long as I can hear what I'm doing at my small group table, I'm okay with the noise level. That's my only concern. I think they need to be social. They need to be talking. They're still working and they're still engaged, and so I don't have a noise level limit. As long as I can hear what's going on at my table, I'm good with the noise level.
This one's from Angela. What do you use for a science curriculum?
We use our TKS research projects. That's how we incorporate science. And then we also use our Mad Science creations for our Mad Science Thursdays, where the kids do hands-on science experiments.
From Gail, what do you do in morning meeting?
So morning meeting, we follow the responsive classroom model. So we have a greeting, a sharing time, an activity, and then the morning message. It's not show and tell. It is not calendar. It's a very specific 4 components. The meeting is when we greet one another. Sharing is when we share what's going on in our lives. The activity is a very quick game or activity that may or may not be academic based. And then the morning message gives us a plan for the day. Takes anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. We do it every morning. It's great for building community. It's great. It really is kind of the foundation of everything that goes on in our classroom. And again, you can get details on each of those components and how the morning meeting works in our classroom by going to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com. And then also every Friday we do morning meeting live on Facebook. And so you can actually watch us do morning meeting every Friday. And those are all on Facebook. So you can go watch those and see what morning looks and sounds like in the classroom.
From hey, Jesse.
Woohoo! So glad she's here.
Should you do a morning meeting in first grade?
Oh God, yes. You should be doing it in every grade, from pre-K through high school. It should absolutely be in every classroom, every grade. It should be mandated. It should be blocked off in the master schedule. It absolutely should be happening. And if it's not, then we need to fix that.
From Heather. Do you incorporate reading response journals?
No, not reading responsive journals, but that's really what the Read It Up creations have become is our reader's response. And so again, it's giving the kids the opportunity to write in response to the text.
So I just posted the link on Facebook for people to sign up for the research project webinar tomorrow night. But for those of you that don't have Facebook, I'm going to be sending an email later with our newsletter with the link. It's also posted on our website at thekindergartensmorgasbord.com. If you just go to the homepage, the first page, it's in the scroller, in the slider, so it's going to scroll across, and you can just click there, and it will take you to sign up as well. So those are the two ways that you can sign up if you don't have Facebook. From Sarah, my kids rush through their writing to get to their center. How do I fix this?
I tell them if it's bad and sloppy, then they're going to have to come back and fix it. So it's better to do your best and take your time. Otherwise, you're going to have to come back and redo the whole thing. And lots of modeling and procedures and expectations. But I mean, you have to be consistent about it. If it's sloppy, they come back and either they erase it and start over, or they get another paper and they have to do it all over again. And that will make a big impact with them.
Lana says, Mr. Greg, you look so tired. Thanks for spending time with us. You guys truly are the best. I noticed that earlier as well when I'm looking here at the screen. You do look pretty tired.
I think it's the light. So we've got the light shining on me, and normally it's up and down a little bit, and this one is right in my eyes. So I think that's
your eyes closed.
Yeah, I'm like squinting and not really meaning to.
What it is.
Yeah. No, I'm not really tired. Y'all, my kids have been so calm this week. I don't know what's happening. I'll probably pay the price for that tomorrow, but they've just been calm and we've been engaged. It's been such a great week. I've been so proud of them. The gym teacher did say they were awful the other day, but you know, what are you going to do? So yeah, we've had a really good week. Yeah. And I really do think it's the light because I don't feel tired.
This one's from Kim. I'm finding that DD Will's Unit 3, How To, comes too soon for the kids, and it really is tough. Do you mix her units up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can totally do it in any order. So yeah, yeah. And the how to writing is really hard for our kids. So yeah, you can do that at any time.
Lana says, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. I didn't mean to offend. No, Lana, he was not offended.
Not at all.
Please don't take his comment as being offended.
No, I don't get offended easily. You did not offend me, I promise. If I'm offended, I will let you know. No, please.
This question is from Ashley. How much time do your students get free playtime?
They get 30 minutes of recess a day, and that's all. That's a district policy. Unfortunately, I don't have the power to fix that and change that, but that's why the classroom is structured the way it is so that the kids get lots of choice and movement and lots of time to engage with one another and talk, and we have as much fun as possible. And sometimes I stretch recess to 40 minutes.
This one's from Melissa. Do you teach sight words in isolation or in sentence phrases?
Both. So we teach, because here's my thing about sight words, and I see this a lot on social media and Facebook groups that I'm a part of, is somebody will say, how do you teach sight words? And then everybody responds with videos and songs, which are great for practicing sight words, but we have to explicitly teach the sight words so that the kids can then use them in context. And so with sight word 60, we teach the words, then we use the words in sentences and in context. We're also using those words in our emergent reader every morning, so they're seeing them in print. We're also finding them in the morning message. And so we're teaching them explicitly, but we're also teaching them in context and working with them in print and in sentences. Okay, here are our final questions. We have 4 questions left, and then we are signing off for the evening. The first of the last 4 is from Hey Jesse. What would you do if you had a student who kicks the walls and other students' chairs? Kicking the walls, I would try to ignore as much as possible. Kicking other students' chairs becomes a safety issue, and I would talk to family, talk to the child, see what's going on, get admin involved, and also teach the other kids to ignore, because sometimes the more attention we give something, the more it can happen. So it's important to teach our other kids to remove themselves and to ignore the behavior if possible. This question is from Taylor. Do the kids have their own circle maps that they do while you're up front? So when we're doing our boot camp curriculum, we do the circle chart whole group. Then the students do have their own student journals. There's student circle map books. We do those in small groups, and so it's a differentiated piece of the boot camp curriculum. From Pixie Girl, do you use ESGI for your standards-based grading
or do you have a form or standards-based report card assessment that you share, or that you can share?
So we don't have a standards-based assessment form. Our report card is standards-based, but all of our assessments are done on ESGI. And then, of course, with like writing, it's a writing assessment that the kids are doing. But we also have some paper pencil stuff like, adding and subtracting, writing numbers, those things. But 90% of what we do for our standards-based report cards is ESGI.
Final question. This is from Ashley, and it's a good one to end with. As a first-year teacher, I feel so overwhelmed with planning every part of the day. I work 10 to 12 hours most days and still bring lots of work home. What advice can you give me to help me survive the year?
Don't think you have to do it all. And don't get caught up in the sparkliness of social media. So do what you can do, but don't try to do it all. Really focus on the basics, reading instruction, some math instruction, and classroom management. And then, you can start to build on those. So also the other thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help. And I wish somebody had told me this 13 years ago, because teaching is incredibly isolating. And, we go in our classrooms and we're in there all day with the door closed with 5-year-olds. And so we don't get the opportunity to talk and share and ask for help. And unfortunately, in our profession, asking for help can be seen as a weakness or as a failure. But we cannot do this alone, especially a new teacher. So don't be afraid to reach out to people in your building for help. Reach out to us for help. But ask for help, because it's okay to ask for help. I ask for help. We all need help. So don't try to do it all. Know that you're doing the best that you can. And it's okay not to get to everything, and it's okay to let things go. We figured up last year, if we did everything our district asked us to, it would take us 13 hours a day. And so you have to make decisions and choices that are best for your kids and for you. So don't try to do it all. Ask for help, and it's okay not to get everything done.
Awesome. All right. So I just gave everyone in the chat the dates for Elevate. We now have them all.
So come join us if you want more fun like this. You can come join us at Elevate. It's our one-day conference designed to give you research-based best practices and tons of content, but it's also meant to uplift you and inspire you and give you the tools that you need to elevate your classroom and your students and your teaching. So we have 4 Elevates coming up in 2019. We're super excited for these. So we will be in San Diego on March 16th, and there are only about, 50 tickets? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, 50.
There are only 50 seats available for San Diego. So if you want to come hang out with us in San Diego, grab those tickets now. June 29th, we're coming home to Nashville. So we'll be right here in Nashville for Elevate Nashville. We'll be celebrating the 3rd birthday of Elevate. July 13th, we're headed to Texas. We'll be back in Austin. And then October 19th, we'll be in Chicago. And so
those last 3, you can get early bird pricing while they're still available.
So Nashville, Austin, and Chicago still have early bird tickets available, but those will go quick. So grab those now. To get more information on Elevate, what's included, the sessions that we're doing, you head over to elevateyourclassroom.com. You can see all of the details for every conference, for every city we'll be in, see what sessions we're doing. We're rolling out a couple of new sessions this year. Tons of new swag this year. We're really stepping up the swag game. And the prizes are epic at Elevate. You never know, you might walk away with a doorbell. Alive Studios has been known to give away some kits. So come join us at Elevate. Again, it's elevateyourclassroom.com. We would love to have you hang out with us. Go to the website, elevateyourclassroom.com, get the details, get your ticket, and we'll see you all at Elevate in 2019. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. I know this is the craziest week of the year for us with teaching the kids. So thank you for taking time out of your schedule to hang out with us. Thank you for the collaboration, the ideas, the encouragement, the inspiration. We hope you have a fantastic rest of the week. We hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you all for all that you do in your classroom and for your kids. Keep up the great work. I know you're doing amazing things, and I'm proud to call you all my colleagues. So have a very Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year, and we will see you in January 2019 for the next Submissions for Smorgie Live. Bye, everybody.